Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. If you are new here, my name is Sophia, and I help beginner gardeners start growing food, learn how to grow real food in real time. Not perfect gardens, but food you can actually grow, harvest, and eat at home. And today we are doing something very, very special. Today, the topic is food gardening 101 sprouts, which means you are starting from the very, very absolute beginning. If you have never grown food before, if you think you don't have space, if you think you don't have time, and if you think you don't have a green thumb, you are exactly who this class is for. Because sprouts are the fastest, simplest, low cost way to start growing food at home. I mean, it's fast. You can start today, you could harvest in days, and you can eat something you grew with your own hands this week. I mean, it grows so fast, and that changes how you see yourself as a gardener. So you stop being someone who wants to grow food and you become someone who does grow food and love starting here because confidence grow faster than plants. So today we are going to start you step by step through what sprouts are. So what are sprouts? And why they are perfect for beginners, exactly what you need, exactly how to start it, common mistakes, and how to actually eat them in real life. And by the end of this video, you will know how to start sprouts at home safely and simply. So again, so let's start. I do have a slide. Let me share my let me do that. This is new, so let me try to share this. Okay, here we go. So sprouts made simple. And this is a slide I prepared so that you, let me see. Let me add it here. Okay, here you go. All right, sprouts made simple, and it grows within 3 to 7 days. All right, so what are sprouts? Sprouts are baby plants grown from seeds, and you are harvesting the leaves. You grow them in water and airflow. That's it. Like, it's very simple. You don't need a yard. You could start today. You probably have some of these tools to get started today. Why start with sprouts? Because they're fast, they grow really, really fast. The results are fast. You do not need any soil, and there's minimum tools, and it's high in nutrients. So the nutrition impact from sprouts, that's what I love teaching beginner gardeners to start with sprouts because they're like you just growing your own vitamins. Some of the supplies that you will need, I bet you have them at home already. You need a jar, a wide mouth jar. You need a mesh lid or a cloth. Cheesecloth will work. You also need some seeds. You probably have some at home that you could start today. And water. Everyone has water at home. Okay, we did. Let me go. So some of the crops that you could start, lentils. So if you have a bag of lentils at home, dry lentils, you could start them and within 3 to 4 days you will have some sprouts to use in your bowls, like a rice bowl or a salad bowl. Mug beans, if you have a bag of mug beans, dry mug beans, you could start them as sprout and you will have them within 4 to 5 days. And the flavor, is going to be crunchy, earthy, and you could use it in your stir fry. Broccoli. So if you have broccoli seeds, these you might have to get. And within 4 to 6 days, you're going to have them. Isn't that amazing? It grows really fast. Alfalfa, if you don't know what alfalfa is, it's also a great plant to start with sprouts, and you could add them to your sandwich like how you add lettuce. So for you to get started, you need to have like a rhythm, a weekly rhythm. And once you have your twos, if you have a jar, a cup, or anything, um, you're gonna be able to soak them just like I have it here. You're gonna soak it for a couple hours, or you're gonna soak it overnight. And then day 2 to day 5, you're just gonna rinse them. That's all you do. You're just gonna rinse them. And day 3 to day 7, then and that's the fun part. You're gonna harvest and start using your harvest. So now the rinse. Rinse is very, very simple. If you have the lid, the mesh lid, or if you have the cheesecloth lid, you just gonna drain it out every morning. You're gonna rinse it with water and drain out. You're gonna do it twice a day. Okay, you have to drain it out fully. No water is left in there from day 2. And then you're gonna see it start to grow. Never leave your sprout sitting in water. Never leave it sitting in water, okay? Harvesting, you're gonna harvest when you see visual like tails of the seeds. That's when you're gonna start harvesting. And you see the leaves also just not opened yet. That's when you're gonna harvest. Before you harvest, you want to do a quick taste test. When you do the quick taste test, it tastes good to you, you're happy with it, then you harvest. Storage, you could store it dry, so meaning that it's not sitting in water. You just store it in a container, a Ziploc bag, and put it in your refrigerator. Within 5 days, you should use it. If you know that you're not going to be able to use it, you could actually freeze it, and then you use it in different meals like soup, stews, or cook it with something. And you should have your leafy greens forever for a long time in the freezer, but in the refrigerator for 5 days. And how you could eat your sprouts. Here I have a bowl. I had yellow rice and some greenery, some salad on the side. You could have it as a salad. You could have it in your wraps. You could have it in your smoothies. You could have it wherever you want greenery. Okay. So, starting your super sprouts is it's super simple to do. Okay. All you need is seeds. As we walk through it, it's very quick. It's very quick. So this is the little presentation that I want to show you that you could do. But if you want to learn more with me, I encourage you to, first of all, make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification so that you don't miss another class. Okay, I'll be teaching you how to grow your food, especially if you're a beginner and never grown anything before. But the most important thing is that I want you to take the quiz. Okay, take a quiz. I made a food garden method quiz that you could go through that quiz and find out how your lifestyle and matches with a garden method. There are 7 different methods. Yesterday I had a video. You could go and look at that video and see all the different methods. And today we're talking about sprouts. Sprouts is actually one of the methods. So you go through that quiz, and whatever you match up with, you can join the hub, the Food Garden Made Simple hub, and you're going to learn your method. And I have a lot of things in there for you, the PDFs for you to download, a planner, videos, even homework to keep you accountable to get your food garden journey aligned with your lifestyle. So make sure you go, and I think I even have a QR code here. Let me put it up so that you see it. So this is the QR code. You can take your phone and scan it, and it will take you straight to the quiz. Also is link in the description so that you could just click on the link and go straight to the quiz. Start there. If you are thinking that you want to start with sprouts, super easy, very easy. It's beginner friendly. You could do this. I mean, everyone could do this. You do not need a lot of space at all. It's very simple, and you don't have to grow a plant fully. That's the beauty part about it. You get to grow in a couple days. You're not waiting for weeks or months to grow sprouts. You are just catching the seeds at the right time when it wakes up. And during that stage, sprouts are extremely nutritious, and it's nutrient dense. They are fresh. If you go to grocery stores, you might see them sprouts on the side over there, and they're expensive. And you could do this like within 3 to 5 days. Sprouts are also alive. They are live food, so they're healthy for you. And they grow usually mostly with just water, air, and a little bit of time. You don't need to spend a lot of time growing this sprouts. Literally less than a minute a day. If you want to give it more time, let's say 5 minutes for rinsing and draining. It takes no time, no soil required. You don't need a backyard. So for my people that always say, I don't have a backyard or I don't have land to start a food garden, this is for you. You could start with sprouts. Everyone could start with sprouts, regardless of where you are in life. Okay, you do not need any garden beds. You don't need garden beds to start this. And most of the time, you don't even need direct sunlight. So you don't even need light. Okay. That is why sprouts are the one of the easiest entry points into food gardening. And you are learning the rhythm of growing food. So when you start with sprouts, you take away that overwhelm of growing food plants. You take it away because you start in very simple, you know, and to do them, there are 3 big reasons why I teach sprouts. For the first number is speed. Again, it's very, very, very fast to grow. And most sprouts are ready within 3 to 7 days. I can't say that enough because people think that growing food will take months and months and months. But if you're growing sprouts, it only takes you 3 days, 3 to 7 days. You should have it. 7 days is the tops. You cannot go any further than that. Once you go further than that, then it's a whole nother food garden method, which we'll talk about that later on in a later video, but only between 3 to 7 days. And that's huge for beginners. Like if you're watching this video and saying, okay, I'm a beginner, I've never planted or grow any food, or even if you have killed plants in the past, because I have a lot of beginners saying that I got a plant and I killed it and I cannot grow food anymore. This is for you. You could do this sprouts. You don't have to wait for 60 days, to get started. You could do this today. Today. After this video, I already went through the stuff that you need. You could start growing your food today. Okay. So, like carrots, when you are growing carrots, you need about 60 days in order for you to have your carrots. You could have your sprouts in 3 to 7 days, you know? And then also, you could have the feeling of that I'm doing it right without being super stressful, you know? So, make sure you start growing some food, especially sprouts. Sprout is your entryway. I invite you to start growing sprouts. Okay. Number two, costs. Cost of growing sprouts is very, very, very um, cheap. You could start with it with 1 jar. If you have a container at home, you could start with it. Even you could even do it in bowls. Okay, you just have to drain out, you have to make sure you're able to drain out all the water out of it. And seeds, most of the foods that we eat that we have dry at home, you have dry beans, like the lentils that I talked about, mug beans, all of those, you could sprout them. And of course, everybody has water, right? You have water at home. All you have to do is rinse it. So that's it. That's all you have. No big investment, right? No big risk. And number three, this is the biggest one for new gardeners, confident building. When you grow food fast, your brain start to believe that I can do this. And that's the mindset, is what creates long-term gardeners. So when you're telling yourself, okay, when you do it within 3 to 7 days and you're like, okay, I did it. I did my first sprout. And then you put those sprouts on your sandwich, your soup, or salad. Like, it's a beautiful feeling that, a couple of days ago, these were just seeds lying down, laying on your countertop. And within 3 to 7 days, you already are eating it in a sprout form and you grew these food. It gets overly excited. You get and then you do it more and more. You do it more and more. All right. So let's talk about what you actually need to start. And I'm going to keep this very, very real and simple. You need a container, right? This can be, again, I'll say this over and over, a mason jar. So you could go to the store and buy a mason jar. Um, you could get a clean jar, okay, or even a cup. You could use it in a cup. There's also tools out there, sprouting jars. I have links. I have Amazon affiliate links, so you could go over there and see. I do have a section for sprouts, and you could go over there and see what I have there available, and you could purchase if you want. You could also use a food safe container, and then you need seeds. Some of the great beginner seed sprouting seeds include, we talked about this, broccoli seeds, lentil seeds, mug beans, radish seeds, alfalfa. If you take the food garden method quiz and you decide to join the Food Garden Made Simple Hub, you're going to get to go to the sprouts. And I have a list of 100 different type of seeds that you could start for sprouts so that you don't get bored with growing the same over and over sprouts. And also you could test different flavors and get a good rotation in your food. So this is just a few of them that you could do: the radish, the broccoli, the mug beans, lentils. These are a few. And then when you join the community and you opt in, you have a list of 100 or more. I'm still building on that. And then you need water and some airflow. That's it. Like, I mean, you could do this today. Then you need the mesh lid. You could get the mesh lid. It's also on my Amazon storefront, or you could get them in the store, or you could use a cheesecloth. They also sell a sprouting lid as well. And then you need something to fasten it around the jar. It could be a rubber band that you put around the lid of the jar. You do not need any grow lights, right? Because a lot of gardeners are stressing about, okay, do I need grow lights to grow food? Not all methods that you need grow lights. And growing sprouts, you do not need grow lights. Another thing that you do not need is you don't need any soil, because we're growing it in water, rinsing it out with airflow. That's all you need. And you do not need fertilizer. All right. You do not need fertilizer. So it's just super, super easy to do. All right. It's very easy to do. And I mean, you could do this today if you wanted to. All right. I'm going to show the slide again with all the supplies here. Very, very simple. And then also you want to measure in spoon. Okay, you want to measure to begin. After you get all your tools, you want your seeds, your jars, and your lid ready. So your sprouting lid. Okay, and if you're making your own, you could use the mason jar lid and take the cheesecloth and put it over and remove the metal lid off, and then screw it on with the cheesecloth. You can make your own. That's your sprouting lid. Okay. In a jar, you always want to do about a tablespoon or two, okay, for most jars. And then if the seeds are tiny, 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 you could just rinse them and start the process. But if they're bigger, then you wanna fill it up with water and soak it for some time. Step 2, you want to rinse your seeds. Okay, you want to rinse them. You want to rinse them in a jar. You want to rinse them in the morning, at night. If in the instant that you forgot, you could do it immediately when you remember. Okay, but make sure you do it at least once a day. Recommended is twice a day. You just add the water and just swirl it gently and pour out the water. That's it. That's all you do. Okay. And then you tilt it. If you have somewhere to tilt it, you could tilt it out. But if you don't, it's fine to you just have to make sure all the water is out and the seeds are not sitting in water. It's very important, because if you don't do that, then you're gonna have it potentially growing with bacteria or mold or stuff. All right. So you want to make sure all the water is drained out. There's no standing water in there. So that's the routine, like rinse, drain, tilt, and then you're done. And then you're just going to watch it grow. It's going to grow. You're going to first see on day 2, you're going to see the tiny tails come out. And within 3 to 5 days, you're going to see the little shoots. And then within 5 to 7 days, you could decide whether to eat it and harvest it and then store it. So you drain it well, and that's about it. You dry it. If you want to store it for long storage, I mean for a week, you make sure you dry it. So you could just take a kitchen towel and then just lay all your harvest of your sprouts on there, and then you let it dry to store. Okay. Or again, if you're using like, let's say for example, mug beans, and you're not going to use everything, exactly you're not going to use everything, you could put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer and use it whenever you need to. All right, so let's talk about common mistakes beginners do when they start with sprouts. So, mistake number one is putting too many seeds, right? Too many seeds. So, I'll show you here. Don't put too many seeds. You see how much seeds I have in here in the jar? That's about a tablespoon or two. You want to put that much. Don't fill up the jar, quarter it or half of it. Okay, then it's going to be too many seeds in there. And then you want to make sure you drain it out. So, like this, you see, there's no water. This is day two. There's no water in there. It drained out and it already started. You see the tails in there. Okay. Um, so make sure you drain it. Number three mistake, forgetting to rinse. Again, I told you if you forget to rinse, as soon as you remember, rinse it right away. All right. Rinse it right away. Recommended is twice a day. If you're able to do it once a day, it's fine. Mistake number four is panicking if first batch isn't perfect. You are going to learn with a rhythm. Okay, as you do this, is not, you don't chase perfection. It's not going to be perfect. So just go by the rhythm. If you try the first time, it didn't work out for you, try again and learn from what you did wrong. Okay, so if you forgot and soak it for a day more and you didn't rinse it all out, like you're gonna figure out, okay, because the steps that I shared with you are very straightforward and simple. If you just follow those steps, then you'll be able to grow. There's nothing else to it. All right. So once you harvest, you're gonna put it on your sandwich, you're gonna put in your wraps, you're gonna put in your salad, your rice bowls, even in smoothies. Okay, you could top it on eggs, top it on soups. Then you start small and use it daily, and that builds a habit. Okay, so once you start it small, you're gonna continue to do it little by little, and then when you come into the food garden made simple hub, and you get that spreadsheet with all the different seeds that you could grow, then you're going to identify your favorite seeds to grow as sprouts. And then you're going to have a wide variety of foods that you could grow and then rotate in your meal. All right. So make sure you go and take the quiz. The QR code is right here. And it's only 10 questions, it's very quick. Join the hub so that you could learn more about growing your own sprouts. You could also join Every Day is Gardening Day community. That's the free community. Join there and meet other gardeners that are also starting out like you. And there's a whole lot of good stuff in there. Okay. So if you're a new gardener, thank you for being here. If you're a gardener that has been gardening and haven't tried growing any sprouts, I welcome you to start growing sprouts. So make sure you just need to grow something, okay, to start your food garden journey. And that is one plant at a time. And I know you got this. All right. I know you got this. And I want to leave you here. I want to thank you for being here. And I'll see you on the next one.